Hi Nathan.
Very good afternoon to you, or good morning, is it?
Absolutely, nice to be back on the couch for another discussion about real estate today.
Certainly is, and it's been an interesting market.
It has. I know that much of our conversation around the office and hearing agents talking to customers and clients on the phone these days tends to keep coming back to what our economic market is doing and the economic downturn and how that's affecting the real estate industry.
Absolutely. I think it's probably a nice place to start is talk about the economical cycle. And I've got some notes, as you can see. The economical cycle, you get spring, which is called also an expansion. And we've had expansion, a rapid expansion for the last 2.5 years. And then you've got peak, hottest day of summer. And we had that from September, October, November, December, January, part of February. And then you get correction or fall, which is now. And then you get the trough, which is the coldest day of winter. Sometimes the cycle goes 2 to 4 years. Other time it does that cycle in 5 to 10 years. I think that's a nice place to start today.
Absolutely, yeah. So from what you've just mentioned, you talked about us being in fall or autumn at the moment, yet we've still got winter to come, which is an even lower point. So you're saying that the market could drop further than what it has already?
Certainly, yeah. So just to clarify, the recession is part of economical cycle. It's natural to go through. Now, when you're listening to a professional who's done the research or somebody that knows what they're talking, been around for a little while, and of course done his or her research, and they do the right predictions, then when you're predicting, you always stay multiple moves ahead. And then when you get the right prediction, as we do, we prepare for it. If you are in expansion, we know that's not going to last forever. So what is next? What's after expansion? Okay, now you've got peak of the market. Okay, now it's peak of the market. What next to expect? Okay, now it's full or contraction. What's next? So we've got winter to come, right? So it's nice to prepare, and when you prepare, you can persevere across the tough times, perhaps.
Yes. So with that in mind, with potentially tougher times ahead, what are you recommending to people who are either wanting to buy, wanting to sell? What should we be looking at doing in this market?
Yeah. When we were in the boom last year or early this year, we were suggesting let's go to the market, get the property sold. You're better off selling it now to waiting till later. So it's always the ideal time, like timing the market exactly when, it's like almost impossible. But you know what to expect, what to come when you are been researching or studying the market. So for me, if you're thinking about selling, let's say, to start with, now is the next best time. It would have been better 6 months ago, right? But now is the next best time, because we predicted a correction 5 to 10%. When it was the boom of the market, didn't we? Yes, absolutely. So we had the market come down by 8.85%, right? We said 5 to 10%. And now we're seeing the market come down 15 to 20% further, because as I said, like now it's contraction time. We've got the winter, the coldest, the trough with the coldest day to come. If you're thinking about selling, now will be a great time. And if you're thinking about buying and selling, so you'd ideally sell now and then purchase later down the track. Now, as real estate agents, you always like that thing people will say, like, just go and sell your property or buy property now. Well, the reality is, you've got to do the best you can to time the things as good as you can. If you're looking to find your ideal home, you go and purchase your ideal home, because, like, homes, like, if you fall in love with a property, it's like you might not find that house again. So if you're looking for a property to purchase,
it can be a long-term investment. If you're planning on being in that house for 10 years, it's probably not going to matter so much if you're buying now or in December.
yeah, because that cycle is going to go back. It's going to happen over and over again. Our ideal time is to sell when the market is high and buy when it's low. So now we've come down almost 10%. Good time to sell because we've got 15-20% further to go. So let's sell now if you're thinking about selling perhaps, and then buy later down the track when it's the winter, when it's the coldest time of them, which I'm predicting 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, no, that sounds like fantastic advice. And maybe just one very last question quickly to finish off. It is coming into spring, and traditionally that is a time when more and more houses come to market. Mm-hmm. What do you think is going to happen in spring? Are you predicting a influx of houses to the market again now?
Yeah. We've had a lot of developments happening in Christchurch as we've noticed, because what happens when there's boom, developers go and acquire land, right? And by the time that comes to the market, because it takes 12, 18 months, 24 months in some cases for the development to start releasing, right? Once it releases, it's always inventory, right? There's more inventory. What happens with the more inventory, there is more options for buyers. When there's more options for buyers, the builders or developers need to slash their prices to sell. So I predict it's going to be a crowded market come spring. And once again, the sooner you go to the market, if you're thinking about selling, the better. Let me cover just one thing to why I'm suggesting 15 to 20% drop. What happens when there's a boom? It means there's a lot of disposable income in the market, and when there's less disposable income, means there's a drop, right? And when is more disposable income? When everything is on a rise. If you've got a home that you've owned for 10 years, now because of boom, it was worth 600,000. In Christchurch, we had 40% growth. All of a sudden it was worth $1 million. Now you've got this extra money, and most people, what they do is they will borrow money from the bank. They were trying to either renovate their house or buy another house. That's what creates a boom, because there's so much money around. Plus, I believe it was $18 billion money that was printed. So that's all the things that's going to create a boom. Now what happens when it's less disposable income, when the market goes down? What happens? There's less money around. So less disposable income, meaning there's downturn on the market. So now people are holding back, not looking to buy properties, right? Or buy more stuff. Everything is everything is interconnected. So if they're not looking to buy properties, so when they go back to the bank to get their pre-approval, the bank declines it. Then there's less buyers around, more stock around, the inflation, interest rate rising. Now you don't need to be a genius to figure out what the market is going to do.
Absolutely. No. Very interesting. So lots of thought to be done, I guess, from people looking at selling and buying, and I'm sure there's been some very helpful tips in there for them today.
Absolutely. Yeah. One thing I also want to cover just before we go is the average price of properties now in Christchurch is 780 plus thousand, 789 last I checked, and the salaries haven't increased by that much. So we had 40% growth, but salaries haven't increased by that much. And then you add the interest rate going high was 2.25%, now 6%. So all those expenses, it makes it harder for people to hold on to their houses or purchase new homes, which again will slow the market down. Now, affordability is what keeps the real estate market going, right? To make a home affordable is it's 4 times 3 to 4 times average income, average household income needs to be paid towards a mortgage. Do you know what it is now? It's about 7%. Now what it means is either the salaries has to increase, which I doubt that's going to happen by 3 times, right? Or the price of real estate's got to come down. So we know what's going to happen.
Yeah, real estate's going to come down.
Absolutely. It's not all bad news, but what I'm saying is, like, you just got to predict, prepare, and persevere. Giving people advice that they need to know rather than what they want to hear.
Absolutely. No, fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Nathan.
Yeah, please.
Excellent.